Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard, the trillion-dollar business of sports, deal-making, politics, law, marketing, business, everything that doesn't go on the court or the field itself. All of this is really, really important as a backbone of the industry. In San Antonio, been there, done that. We did that last week. Clearly, everybody focuses on that. Heading to the Masters, obviously a big deal. Major League Baseball, 2 weeks old. NFL stadiums getting done. NBA, NHL playoffs, a couple weeks away. We're going to focus on that a lot. All of it, what does it have in common? Finance, finance, finance. We have Rick Edelman, one of the foremost financial minds in the industry, talking about protecting athletes, how athletes can protect themselves, what are the obligations of NBA and others to protect them, and all about finance in a trillion-dollar business of sports. We'll be having him on a lot more, but Rick Edelman, the superstar of the show today. But let's get started with a couple of things. Before we do, though, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Audio Boom, Stitcher, iTunes feed. And if you want to look at our entire 15 to watch, we have it every week. CSN Washington, CSN Mid-Atlantic. We also, as you know, expanded it to the 5 tech issues as well as 5 social and philanthropic issues. Let's get started with the Masters, then we'll talk to Rick. It's on us. You know why it's on us? It's because Tiger Woods making tickets more expensive. You all realize that he hasn't won an event in 3,500 days, the major anyway, and if the 42-year-old does win, he'll become only the 7th person to win the tournament age 40 or older. How about this company, Hogan, Player, and Nicklaus? Last year's ticket revenue estimated to be valued at over $35 million, but the Augusta Chronicle notes Woods' place in the field appears to be driving up the price of practice round tickets. About $3,600, 77% increase over last year's Thursday's badge. And the 4-day.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, more Rick Horrow, the Sports Professor.
How's that kitchen remodel coming along?
I haven't found a reliable contractor and have no idea where to start.
What about Home Advisor?
Home what?
Home Advisor. They match you to pre-screened and top-rated pros for any kind of home project. You can even check pricing and book appointments online.
What's the catch?
No catch. Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Really? I'll check it out.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor. If you're one of the millions of Americans who can't work because of a serious injury or illness, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. It doesn't matter if you've applied before and the government has said no. Let the experienced attorneys at Bill Gordon and Associates help you get the Social Security disability you deserve. Their team of attorneys have been fighting for benefits for people just like you for over 20 years. And best of all, they're There's no fee until you receive your benefits. There are many conditions that make you eligible, including some you may not even be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call Bill Gordon and Associates today for your free no-obligation consultation. See if you qualify for the Social Security benefits you need and deserve. 800-443-4996. 800-443-4996. That's 800-443-4996.
Message and data rates may apply.
Hi, I'm Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. After I left baseball, I just couldn't stay in shape like I used to. Turns out, once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone, and that can make it harder to get into shape. So I got back into the game with Nugenics. I'm feeling stronger with a lot more energy and drive. You want to get back into shape? Get Nugenics. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Frank's right. Just text LIKE to 42424 to get a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And guys, she'll like the difference too.
Nugenics samples are not available in stores. To get your complimentary bottle, text LIKE to 42424. That's LIKE to 42424.
How is it that Pennzoil in your engine makes you feel this? Or how this takes your mind to this? It's because to us, performance is more than just a word. It's the ultimate goal. And whether you get your oil changed at a shop or take care of it yourself, Pennzoil Synthetics give you complete protection for top engine performance. Make the switch today at your nearest Home Depot location.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
Woods' place in the field appears to be driving up the price of practice round tickets. About $3,600, 77% increase over last year's Thursday's badge. And the 4-day badges listed at StubHub $9,900. And while ticket prices remain incredibly expensive, one of the best aspects of the Masters is cheap concessions. Domestic beer sets you back $4. An obligatory egg salad or pimento cheese sandwich, $1.50. Augusta National, a tradition like none other in deference to Jim Nance. Tiger, by the way, one of the most marketable athletes in the world before he lost his major sponsorships with AT&T, Gatorade, and Gillette in the wake of his 2009 sex scandal. Will he get him back? Well, he struggled with injuries, his reputation take a further hit with his DUI last year. Companies still consider sponsoring Woods due to his universal name recognition. The DUI arrest, although not the DUI, and it piles on, but major sponsors unlikely to capitalize on Tiger anytime soon. We'll test him, and we'll test him often. Still a very significant lack of trust and likability in terms of general population. Matt Delzell, managing director of the marketing arm, told Fast Company, "It's an interesting balance we don't see with a lot of athletes. People want to see him perform well because it adds excitement to the sport, even for casual golf fans. But no one's looking at these numbers and saying, that's a guy I've got to latch onto." One place where Tiger continues to perform, Vegas. Per Golf.com, Vegas sportsbooks have had golf betting reawakening with Tiger's reemergence, and as of Sunday, he was a 9-1 favorite to win another green jacket. Unbelievable. And the jury's still out on whether his comeback will bring back the major new sponsor commitments of yesteryear. Companies eager to capitalize on his 2018 resurgence. Bridgestone Golf, a longtime Wood sponsor, starts selling customized Tour BXS Woods Edition golf balls, and a portion of the proceeds from each sale goes to the Tiger Woods Foundation. Golf Week says each ball is stamped Tiger on the side, just like the balls Tiger uses in competition. Delta Airlines leveraging its sponsorship of the Masters with the launch of an international-only media platform, which will include ads and social media ahead of this week's event. BizJournals.com notes this is Delta's first year as an international partner of the tournament after the airline signed a multi-year deal in October. The new marketing campaign, running in 11 countries across broadcast, TV, digital, out-of-home, and social media channels, it gets bigger and bigger. Concentrated investment is in London, Mexico City, and Seoul. Delta's deal struck before Woods was insured to be in the field, but the airline clearly will benefit by his presence, especially if he makes the cut. We have some really interesting financial news, as we will continue to do even more intensely as we move forward. Investing in pro sports leagues, more than just fun and games for corporate sponsors, it's serious business. We've talked about athletes and all of their money, but it's directly related in many cases, especially off the court and off the field, to corporations. The Pro Sports Sponsors Index, a fund called FANS, composed solely of companies that are official sponsors of the 4 major leagues in North America. 67 companies currently part of it. Since the fund's July 11, 2017 launch date, it's been on par or above the S&P 500. The fund was even back-tested against the index since 2005 and outperformed by 130%. If you look at the companies that partner with the leagues, they're typically blue-chip companies that still want to grow. So if they got a growth component, they've also got a value component if they have enough free cash flow to earmark a big chunk to marketing and other pro sports. The bottom line is another example of how the trillion-dollar sports business is expanding. Starts with the players, starts with the teams. Every single entity has gone up a significant amount, hence the $1 trillion. Rick Edelman, the executive chairman of Edelman Financial Services, has been involved as a thought leader in this industry for years. The company manages more than $21 billion in assets for more than 35,000 families across the country, and it was founded 30 years ago by industry leader Rick Edelman, 3 times named as the #1 independent financial advisor in the nation by Barron's, and recently ranked as one of the top 10 wealth advisors in the country by Forbes. The firm focuses on making personal finance simpler, easier, and more fun. Boy, we all ought to have that. Rick Edelman talks about finance, money, investment, planning, and life. Rick Edelman. How about the players? Rick Edelman, executive chairman, Edelman Financial Services, who manages people's money and is a premier financial advisor, gives us some perspective on the business of college sports and beyond. Sports is a $1 trillion business. We know that. And from time to time, we go beyond the box score to talk about issues that are relevant to everybody, not just sports people, but people who care about money, which is 120% of the entire population, if not more. We have Rick Edelman, Edelman Financial Services, a financial advisory firm, over $21 billion in assets managing for 35,000 families across the country. He's a veteran of over 30 years in this business, and interestingly enough, his comment is he makes personal finance simpler, easier, and more fun. I wish I knew that, Rick, because I want to make sports business simpler and more fun. What's the mantra all about, and how have you been so successful doing that?
Well, first of all, I'm Rick without a K.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's right. An important disclosure.
Well, it is. Rick without a K, by the way, and he becomes one less letter to spell.
I grew up in this industry not having been born in this industry, meaning my degree's in communications and not business school. I used to brag, I still do, that I graduated college without ever having to take a business class, which is commentary that this stuff really isn't nearly as complicated as everybody who does have a business degree wants you to make you believe that it is. And as a result, it leaves consumers wondering, what should I do with my money? And this is why Wall Street is the industry everyone loves to hate. Everybody hates credit card companies and insurance companies and banks and brokerage firms, and yet we're stuck dealing with them. So my wife and I, when we started our financial planning practice back in the 1980s, it was because we had a bad experience dealing with an advisor. And we said, the heck with this, we're going to learn how to do it ourselves, teach ourselves how to do it, and then we'll share what we've learned with others. And here we are 30 years later, one of the largest financial planning firms in the country, because we simply want to make personal finance fun.
Well, and tried and true, I mean, we all grew up with sports. 50 years ago, as I said, back in the leather helmet days, sports have been a lot different today as it's been now. What do you think are kind of the major commonalities you can take away between your business and, let's say, the business of sports, broadly defined?
Well, there are some things in common that we find. In the world of sports, you learn teamwork, number one, meaning it's not all about you. Your own success is not dependent just on you. Finding mentors, supporting others is a key element of success. So we discover that people who are what our industry refers to as DIYers, do-it-yourselfers, people who are trying to manage their own money on their own, they prepare their own taxes on their own, hobbyists really is what they love, spending time with their money. They often don't generate the results that are as good as.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, more Rick Horrow, the sports professor.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for prescription drugs? Well, we have great news. Now you can finally get prescription drugs at huge discounts from Canada Drug Center. That's right, the most popular drugs for cholesterol, high blood pressure, depression, diabetes, arthritis, and many more are now up to 75% off. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices when you can get brand name drugs at the lowest price? Call today and get up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs. Never pay high prices again. Get the most popular drugs at huge savings from our Canadian and international pharmacies and fulfillment centers. No insurance? No problem. Prices are so low you do not need benefits or insurance to get all your prescriptions fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting to take your call now. Order today and get free shipping. Just call 800-950-1180. Up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs and free shipping. Call 800-950-1180. That's 800-950-1180.
If you are age 85 or younger, Call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
Money, they often don't generate the results that are as good as they had hoped or that they desired.
Is it ego?
In many cases, yes. Just like, men won't ask for directions when we're driving,
Some men.
Well, now none of us do. Well, we all ask Siri.
Yeah.
Siri
is she's changed the dynamics of the world. Boy,
totally
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Whose decision was it to give Siri a female voice?
Don't get into that. Okay.
And so, what we find is that people who have an athletic background understand delayed gratification, hard work for an outcome that is uncertain, but with a little interesting twist. Whereas you and I can compete on a field and there's a winner and a loser, in the field of personal finance, you and I can compete in the investment marketplace.
And it is not a zero-sum game.
Right.
Also, the stakes are a little higher, I suspect, because this is your life, this is your wealth, this is your annuity, this is your retirement.
Right. And that's why we have to treat it very seriously. And even though we may find that the investing is a whole lot of fun and I can do it myself and I enjoy doing it myself and so on, well, that doesn't mean you're an expert when it comes to estate planning or college planning or employee benefits or mortgages or taxes or buying and leasing cars. And this is why we have to recognize the totality of the comprehensive picture of personal finance that most people either don't have the knowledge to deal with, or they don't have the time to deal with it, or they don't have the desire to deal with it. They need to delegate the chore, and that's why they turn to professional advisors like us.
Well, and broader than that, I think, and one of the things we'll get at over time is the thought process of successful financial and personal money management has to mirror good, legitimate, comprehensive business practices. So as sports becomes more of a business and as the billions become trillions, I'm sure there are disciplines we all can learn from that are transferable.
Very much so. We also have to recognize our frailties, and we have to be realistic. In other words, if I said to you, here's an investment that has a 1 in 2,000 chance of success, would you do it? You'd probably say no. And yet we encounter parents commonly saying, my college plan is for my kid to win a full athletic scholarship. Yeah. Well, the odds are about 1 in 2,000.
Yep. And let me put that, and that's a very important point now, because the NBA and everybody is trying to deal with this one and done rule where kids who are staking their future on whether they become pro or not, what about all those other kids? You talk about the importance of those kids that'll come into lump sum of money, how it makes it work, but also there has to be some legitimate financial discipline for the kids that don't make it, the vast majority.
Absolutely right. So it's a question of diversification. Sure, go ahead and have your kid, assuming the kid is interested and enjoys it and is good at it, engaging in travel sports and doing all the stuff necessary to become successful in that area. don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't let that be the sole strategy you're using for this child to get a college education. You should be saving for college in addition to that in case the child changes his or her mind and doesn't want to play, or their knee gets blown out and they can't play. You need to have a plan. Hope is not a plan.
Hope's not a plan, although now you're in the NBA, let's put it this way, and you're making a lot of money. And again, the average salary at the NBA level is prolific. By the way, 42 players make at least $20 million this season in the NBA. Incredible. Yet, 5 years ago, 78% of NBA players declared financial bankruptcy. How's that possible to take all that money and squander it?
We see it all too often, and it is heartbreaking to see and infuriating for us as advisors. And when they get to where they are with these millions of dollars and they want to go buy a restaurant or a car dealership or some other business venture that is presented to them by a trusted family member, advisor, or in some cases a huckster who's gotten a hold of them, they don't realize that they aren't Midas. They don't realize that everything they do turns to gold. I mean, it does on the court or the field, but not necessarily in business. And they don't understand, although millions of dollars sounds like a lot of money, when you stretch it out over your lifetime of income need, it's a really small bucket of money. We see the same thing with lottery winners, and it doesn't take long for them out of the league, the absence of the income, to be unable to sustain the lifestyle they've grown accustomed to.
Why do you think it is that the NCAA and others, this is not incendiary against the NCAA, but it's so hard to get a Rick Edelman to sit across the table from a kid without it look like an agent solicitation and without looking like it's going to affect the eligibility of the player? It would be great if you could just sit down and talk to these players on a regular basis, don't you think?
The NFL, for example, has tried. They now have a program where you have to go through and get approved by them to be on a list where you can be referred to football players. But guess what? Some of the advisors on that list have been found out to be crooks. Yeah. So even that good effort hasn't necessarily turned it into success for the athletes. We also have to recognize there are a lot of conflicts of interest going on. You talk about it, an athlete is making $20 million a year. Well, you know that's not true. First of all, there's taxes, and then there are agents' fees, and on and on and on. And by the time you get down to it, that $20 million is now down, I'll say, to only maybe 8 or 10 million.
Right.
And
the agent's taking his piece, and everybody else is taking his piece off the top.
And that athlete is sending a bunch of money to mom and dad who supported them and sacrificed for decades, maybe to other family members. They often have an entourage. They're often trying to spend money in a business venture to develop a clothing line or some other business of their own, and all of a sudden they're not netting nearly as much as it might appear to be for the rest of us.
One more structural financial question, and then we'll do this on a regular basis. This is really good as far as dealing with people who ought to understand the similarities between personal finance and the sports business. Kirk Cousins, we're here in Washington. I'm not sure if that's a hero name or not for people around the country. He may change the face of how the NFL negotiates its contracts. Just signed a deal with the Minnesota Vikings,
right.
A 3-year guaranteed deal. Ironically, most baseball contracts are guaranteed, but football, violent sport, big risk, are not guaranteed. How do you advise in that situation if more contracts are beginning to be guaranteed? That still doesn't mean you're home free.
Yeah, it really doesn't, because at the best, he's got a 3-year gig. Now, in Kirk's case, it's a huge amount of money, with $85 million, so no tears for him, no matter how it turns out. But for the average rank-and-file NFL player, they're not going to command that kind of a money. Even if they do, they'll end up with $10, $20, $30 million over 3 years. Well, net of expenses and taxes and other obligations, that has to last them in a lifetime. They have not hit the lottery. They have not settled on all of their financial needs going forward, and they need effective financial advice. I think an equally biggest challenge here is the impact on the teams, because if they are offering these guarantees and Kirk gets hurt in his first week, now they're not only paying him, they got to pay his successor, and pretty soon that house of cards can come tumbling down.
And just one more perspective on that. Forbes pegs the average NFL team at a $2.34 billion valuation, which is up 19% year over year. It's an incredible number, largely built on the backs of contracts that could be terminated at a moment's notice.
And Kirk may be saying to that industry, you know what, that party's over.
We will clearly be hearing more from Rick Edelman as we go forward. It'll be a regular staple on our show and other shows across the NBC dial. Clearly, he significantly focuses on the guys making big bucks, but that's not all the message is. And frankly, when you're off the court, you got to look like guys like Michael Jordan, Arnold Palmer, David Beckham. As far as generating some income, how about Shaq? According to John Wall Street, making more money today than he ever did while he was playing. Over the course of his NBA career, he made nearly $300 million in on-court earnings, the most he earned $30 million in salary. The two-time All-American from LSU and legendary big man, the highest-paid retired athlete, following the sixth highest paid retired athlete, following the likes of Michael Jordan, Arnold Palmer, David Beckham. Pretty significant company. Since retiring in 2011, his single largest payday occurred in December 2015. He sold 51% of all future business endeavors, not including his Turner Sports contract or his Sacramento Kings investment, and he made anywhere from $230 to $270 million in cash. And as Shaq's son, Sharif, gets ready to suit up for UCLA next season, he'll be looking to follow in his father's footsteps on and off the court. Well, the restructuring of the NBA to allow the big dollars is a top issue here again in San Antonio, but beyond that, how do you deal with the kids coming out? One and done? What do you do with the rules, kind of like baseball? If you choose to go to college, you're going for...
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, more Rick Horrow, the sports professor.
Every home repair or improvement project should start with a pro you know you can trust. That's why for over 15 years, homeowners have trusted Home Advisor.
Home Advisor is a very easy way to find a home contractor, and for me, it's the only way.
You can use Home Advisor for everything. Your house cleaning, your painting.
Electricians, plumbers, handymen. We've had nothing but fabulous every single time.
Home Advisor is a totally free service that instantly connects you with top-rated pros who have passed criminal and financial background checks.
Knowing that they have had the background checks and that they're vetted absolutely gives me a sense of security.
Plus, Home Advisor's True Cost Guide helps you get a fair price by showing you the cost of similar jobs in your area.
Home Advisor is a total solution to any type of work you would ever want to do around your house.
And best of all, it's completely free. Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
If you love fantasy but need to be a part of the action, there's a better way to play, and it's live. WinView Games is the only app that lets you make live props when the game is on TV, compete against other sports fans, talk trash, and if you're right, win cash with an immediate payout each quarter. Playing WinView is easy. During each game, props are sent straight to your phone. So what are you waiting for? Go to winviewgames.com/predict to start cashing in on your sports IQ. That's winviewgames.com/predict. WinView Games. When the game is on, it's on.
The backyard's looking great, Rob.
Thanks, man. I was planning on adding a deck, too. Know any good contractors?
Why don't you just ask Home Advisor?
Home what?
HomeAdvisor.com. You just tell them about your project and they match you with local pros that can do the job.
Nice. Now, how much does it cost?
Oh, Home Advisor's totally free to use. Plus, you can read customer reviews, check pricing, and book appointments for free.
What's the website again?
HomeAdvisor.com. Or just download the free Home Advisor app.
Home Advisor.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
Clearly, he significantly focuses on the guys making big bucks, but that's not all the message is. And frankly, when you're off the court, you got to look like guys like Michael Jordan, Arnold Palmer, David Beckham, as far as generating some income. How about Shaq? According to John Wall Street, making more money today than he ever did while he was playing. Over the course of his NBA career, he made nearly $300 million in on-court earnings, the most he earned $30 million in salary. The two-time All-American from LSU and legendary big man, the highest-paid retired athlete, following the sixth highest paid retired athlete, following the likes of Michael Jordan, Arnold Palmer, David Beckham. Pretty significant company. Since retiring in 2011, his single largest payday occurred in December 5th, 2015. He sold 51% of all future business endeavors, not including his Turner Sports contract or his Sacramento Kings investment, and he made anywhere from $230 to $270 million in cash. And as Shaq's son, Sharif, gets ready to suit up for UCLA next season, he'll be looking to follow in his father's footsteps on and off the court. Well, the restructuring of the NBA to allow the big dollars is a top issue here again in San Antonio, but beyond that, how do you deal with the kids coming out? One and done? What do you do with the rules, kind of like baseball? If you choose to go to college, you're going for a couple of years, not like one and done. But there may be an alternative to high school basketball players and the one and done conundrum. The G League may become a lot more common following McDonald's All-American and Syracuse commit Darius Bazley's decision to do so. His decision to forego college came down to him thinking he'd get more out of the G League than he would by playing in Europe or at Syracuse. He'll be able to officially sign with the G League team when he turns 18 in June. If he's ultimately selected toward the top of his class in the 2019 NBA draft, he could serve as a trailblazer for the future of the sport, especially with the ongoing NCAA scandal and the imminent shakeup of the current system. The G League will have the most to offer, considering it's the developmental league for the NBA. I'll get more out of it than going overseas, he said. It's only the tip of the hardwood iceberg. Look for many more marquee players to either follow in his large and well-compensated footsteps or to be very serious about this alternative as he analyzes what they might be in the future. Well, then, the NBA, by the way, continues to restructure their business, governing issues, sponsorship issues. How about the Golden State Warriors will be keeping their name despite moving from Oakland to San Francisco upon the completion of their new arena? According to the Chronicle, the Golden State will not be removed in favor of San Francisco, though the team did consider the change years ago, back in 2012 when the Warriors announced their pending departure from the East Bay. The name change was a hot-button issue. Having played as the San Francisco Warriors from 62 to 71, many speculated the change of location would present a perfect time to change the name. Back then, if you'd gone to Beijing or Paris or Buenos Aires and asked people where Golden State is, you'd have gotten a quizzical look, like they had no idea or didn't care, said Warriors president, CEO Rick Welts, COO Rick Welts. Every fan in the world knows that name, so this is a real no-brainer for us. The team's massive success on the court over the past few years, highlighted by 2 NBA championships and 3 trips to the finals, has convinced the team to keep its branding the same. More than a dozen states considering legalizing sports betting ahead of the U.S. Supreme Court case on the matter. Minnesota is just one of the states working behind the scenes to get a legal infrastructure for sporting betting ahead of the Supreme Court decision in case the federal ban is deemed unconstitutional. The legalization of gambling is essential for many states. The revenue from gaming is often one of the biggest revenue streams. Rhode Island, for example, where Governor Gina Raimondo's budget proposal for next year includes $23.5 million in a new state revenue from legalized sports betting at Twin Rivers Casino in Lincoln and a planned casino in Tiverton. Gaming revenue is Rhode Island's 3rd biggest revenue source in Illinois. Multiple top professional sports officials have noted their openness to legalizing sports betting pending the federal government's approval, but they also want to ensure their leagues get a cut of the money needed to protect the integrity of our competitions. Conversely, there are those who would argue that if pro sports leagues get a cut of the action, they open themselves up further to possible charges of corruption, but revenue at the end probably wins out. Scoreboard, the Dallas Mavericks will not make the NBA playoffs this year, but that's not stopping them from making a positive impact on their community. On March 23, the Seth Curry Foundation and 5 Miles brought together students from Kip Destiny Middle School, Women's Foundation, and Men's Leadership Academy for a business pitch competition. Celebrity guest judges included Mavericks owner Mark Cuban. And with the support of Seth Curry and 5 Miles, Dallas area students have accessed Venture, EverFi Entrepreneurship Exploration course. EverFi is the leading education technology company that provides scalable digital real-world education for millions of students of all ages. In February, Curry underwent season-ending surgery for a stress fracture in his lower left leg and is expected to resume full activities within 3 months. For now, the Duke standout, 5-year NBA veteran, has little more time during the regular season than he normally does to focus on his foundation with EverFi's help while tending to his health. The NBA fans able to pay to buy the right to see parts of non-national games for a small fee. The league and its digital partner Turner and Turner Sports announced that last week. The offering set to begin in the 18-19 season. The league and Turner began offering league passes on an individual basis for $6.99, but Tuesday's announcement signals the first time a major sports league offering fans the chance to buy parts of games. Sources said the league will continue to experiment by offering fans the chances to see parts. The new offering won't change what has been offered in the past, and fans can still get a certain team's games for the season and continue to pay $7 individually for games that intrigue them. But fear of cannibalizing the NBA League Pass had once seemed to make it harder to sell fans slices of games. But younger fans are used to making micropayments and buying things on impulse, especially when notices pop up on their social feeds. So this may be another trend. Looks like the NBA is in for a certain kind of restructuring anyway. Let's talk about international events for a minute. Soccer, for example. Well, we may not believe it, but the 2018 World Cup in Russia is less than 100 days away, and excitement seems to be generated at least around the world. 80,000 people surveyed, 40 leading markets around the world. Findings show that 47% of the online population plans to watch the 2018 World Cup. 55% of male internet users expected to watch either online or on TV. The World Cup holds a significant greater appeal than the Premier League, and viewers in Europe that were polled said they're most likely to watch on YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the usual suspects. And even without a U.S. squad in contention this year, expect huge viewership on TV, online as well. And in the meantime, U.S. Soccer announces a $1.5 billion deal with Stats. Wearables, wearing monitoring devices, 4 million registered soccer players, and valued at over $1.5 billion. U.S. Soccer and Stats say the partnership will result in the world's largest player data monitoring program, which will help identify the performance technology used by top professionals and teams around the world. U.S. Soccer, Stats Sport also has partnership with NFL, NHL, and a number of clubs from the Premier League. Good for the MLS and U.S. Soccer to continue to focus to try to generate some rebound after the U.S. national team doesn't make it to Russia, but yet the rest of the world continues to focus on it. Let's end with baseball, even though it's been one heck of an opening week. According to the AP, the Red Sox payroll of $223 million, enough to snap the Dodgers' 4-year run as top spender. The Cubs third, the Giants second at 203. Rounding out the top 5, the Dodgers and Nationals, each approximately spending $180 million. The New York Yankees, a club that used to spend exorbitant amounts of cash on an annual basis, have their lowest payroll since 2003. $167 million, may even approach reasonableness. And it marks the first time the club's been ranked as low as 7th in spending since 1992. And a record 130 players will be making at least $10 million this season. The average salary only rose by about 3% over last year. Currently, the average salary sits at $4.61 million, $4.47 million last year, not holding a bake sale for anybody. But teams spent about $2 billion on 65 multi-year contracts this winter, compared to about $3 billion on 57 of them last year. One big motivation for clubs to decrease their spending was to get below the luxury tax line. $197 million was that marker, is that marker. The Yankees and Dodgers, the last year's top 2 spending teams, have cut more than $100 million payroll, putting each of them more than $30 million below the tax line. When would you ever have said that? Well, you're doing it now. And baseball, by the way, obviously important on the field. We talked about that. But off the field philanthropically as well, and technically. MLB TV set to launch a catch-up feature for game streams. Advanced Media working on it to help fans joining a broadcast in progress to quickly review the action. Regardless if you're an hour late, you're feeling as if you've seen all the highlights. The voice recognition catch-up for MLB TV. So, NBA is selling micro units. MLB is selling catch-up units. Boy, those millennials. They get what they deserve, which is a volume of business, significant leverage, and certainly moving forward to get a product created just for them. Finally, now that spring training is over, the economic impact should continue to flow with 15 teams in Florida and 15 in Arizona. As for Florida, the Palm Beach County Sports Commission recently sponsored an event called Economic Impact of Baseball in Palm Beach County. The events included speakers including Pat O'Connor, president of Minor League Baseball, Brian Cooley, president of EverFi Sports and Entertainment, Pat Rooney, Palm Beach County civic and business leader, Steve Salem, president of Cal Ripken Senior Foundation.
We're going to take a short
and George
break,
Lindley, the
return
executive director
Rick
of the
Horrow,
Palm Beach County Sports Commission.
professor.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply, subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
Forward to get a product created just for them. Finally, now that spring training is over, the economic impact should continue to flow with 15 teams in Florida and 15 in Arizona. As for Florida, the Palm Beach County Sports Commission recently sponsored an event called Economic Impact of Baseball in Palm Beach County. The events included speakers including Pat O'Connor, president of Minor League Baseball, Brian Cooley, president of EverFi Sports and Entertainment, Pat Rooney, Palm Beach County civic and business leader, Steve Salem, president of Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, and George Lindley, the executive director of the Palm Beach County Sports Commission. The economic impact of 4 teams in Palm Beach County, especially with the world champion Astros, as well as 2 minor league baseball teams and over 30 amateur events last year meant significant economic impact that other communities can emulate. It'll be a big benchmark for other counties to follow, not only in Florida, but Arizona as well. Well, that's it for the show. Can't wait for the Masters. Can't wait for the playoffs to start in basketball and in hockey. Baseball continues to intensify. Let's see what happens with the Yankee home run derby, basically an Angel player playing two positions. I can't wait for all of this to focus on Mid-Atlantic as well. How are the Nationals going to fare and the Orioles? All of these intertwined business issues important to all of us. I'd like to thank Rick Edelman for his expertise. You will hear a lot more of him on this network, and we'd like to thank Dan Martin, Tanner Simpkins for putting this together, and we'd like to thank you for listening. And thank you again for joining us this week, next week, and beyond when we go Beyond the Scoreboard.